This program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
KUAM TV8, home of Super Bowl 60, coming February 9th, 2026. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
Two legislative measures spotlight different challenges but share a common goal: clarity, fairness, and public trust. I'm Nevaeh Anderson with the details on Bills 218 and 62 next.
Local experts gain the tools to analyze data to help better inform long-term student outcomes. More on the HAFA data team coming up.
Sounds of fun filling the air here at the Micronesia Mall, where a new attraction has opened up. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with a look at Gamebox and why its owners are taking a bet on the road to recovery.
Whether you're here in the 671 or you're Guamanian anywhere in the world, we wish you half a day to you and your family. I'm Jason Salas, and on behalf of everybody here in the Harmon Studios, this is KUAM News Primetime, and thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Well, in your top story, a pair of measures heard at the Guam legislature this week addressed very different but equally fundamental questions: how we name ourselves as a people and how we ensure fairness in government. Your elected lawmakers heard testimony on standardizing the spelling of Tsumoru in public records and on tightening rules against nepotism in public employment. Our first report is with Nevaeh Anderson.
How Guam defines its identity and how it governs itself were both under the microscope during a public hearing this week. First up, Bill 218 by Senator Shelley Calvo would require the official use of the spelling Chamorro in place of Chamorro across Guam law, government policy, and public education. Calvo stated that the use of two spellings creates confusion and weakens language preservation efforts. Bill 218 also spelling does not follow the official Chamorro orthography developed by the Comisión Finu Chamorro and adopted in 1983, while Chamorro more accurately reflects indigenous pronunciation and linguistic structure. Calvo told lawmakers the bill is not introducing something new, but formally affirming what is already widely practiced. She also tied the issue to how Guam presents itself beyond the island.
We often speak about utilizing the uniqueness of Guam's heritage, culture, and identity to propel our tourism efforts. Yet, we fail to focus on strengthening the very commodity many seek to promote and sell in the global stage.
Dr. Laura Sauter, chairwoman of the Comisión, testified that consistency in spelling is especially critical as more children learn Chamorro in classrooms rather than at home. She added that aligning spelling with pronunciation is an act of respect and cultural sovereignty.
This effort to standardize government usage is but another step to complete the process. Aligning our spelling and naming practices with the way words are pronounced in our spoken language is a sign of profound respect for the mother tongue that has been gifted to us by our indigenous ancestors.
The measure would also establish an interagency working group to guide implementation, allow limited exceptions for historical and legal accuracy, and require a progress report to lawmakers within 1 year. Senators then turned to Bill 62, the, quote, No More Pari Pari Act of 2025, introduced by Senator William Parkinson.
Its core purpose is straightforward: to ensure that public employment decisions are based on merit, not family relationships. Ultimately, to restore public confidence in the fairness and integrity of government hiring practices.
However, the measure does not ban relatives from government employment outright. Instead, it focuses on preventing hires within the same agency when a close relative serves as the appointing authority and barring direct supervisory relationships between close relatives.
Our island is small. Our families are interconnected, and relationships often overlap with professional life. That reality makes strong, objective rules more necessary, not less.
Together, the bills reflect ongoing efforts to define Guam's identity while reinforcing fairness and accountability in government. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
Thanks so much, Nevaeh. Moving on in our rundown, Guam Fire Department units responded just after 6 Wednesday morning to report of an unresponsive man bleeding in the parking lot of 7 Mart in Upper Tumon. GFD says due to unknown circumstances, GPD officers were requested to secure the scene, and once it was deemed safe, fire department personnel assisted the patient. The man remained unresponsive and was transported by GFD paramedics to the Guam Regional Medical City in Dededo for further treatment. The incident remains under investigation. Well, it was a moment of remembrance, respect, and resolve on Tuesday afternoon as leaders, officers, and families gathered at Skinner Plaza downtown to break ground on a memorial dedicated to our island's fallen law enforcement heroes. One of those in attendance was Joan Ogancharfis, and she files this next report.
On a sunny Tuesday afternoon, ground was broken for the Fallen Officers Memorial at the Skinner Plaza in Hagåtña. For the past 30 years, the monument has been located in front of the old GPD Hagåtña precinct and honors law enforcement officers who've died in the line of duty. And an annual ceremony is held during Police Week in May.
During this time, fallen officers are remembered, their names read, and flowers are placed by their family members on the monument, symbolizing courage and sacrifice for the island's safety.
GPD Chief Stephen Ignacio says that because of its importance, there has been a push to erect a new monument.
Several years ago, when he was chair for the Finance Committee, I approached Senator Joseph Augustine, and I had a discussion with the governor and lieutenant governor that as we look at the overall picture for the greater development of the Hagåtña area and the Hagåtña restoration, I knew that the time was coming short for the monument in its current place, and that sooner or later it had to be replaced.
Senator Joseph Augustine was able to appropriate $500,000 for this important project. Ignacio says GPD may have many projects, but this memorial is very dear to the department.
To honor those officers who lost their lives in the line of duty. And every year, it's an opportunity for us to gather with their family and friends to remember that they made the ultimate sacrifice and that they are the people that we remember.
This monument is a symbol of their sacrifice.
We hope that this captures the essence of what this monument brings in memory and in honor of the sacrifice of our fallen officers.
Joan Ogancharfis, KUAM News.
Let's move further in a rundown now. As a group of education and workforce leaders from our part of the world are fresh off an intensive training session aimed at strengthening both the technical skills and the mindset needed to work with big data. Our Destiny Cruise Langus spoke with Dr. Sam Mabini-Young, who led the group known as the HAFA Data Team, on how this training could help drive smarter decisions across Guam and the region.
Data plays a critical role in shaping public policy and improving social outcomes, and a government agency's ability to analyze that data is essential. That's why a group of local education and workforce professionals from Guam and the CNMI, known as the HAFA Data Team, took part in a 4-month research training program with the Coleridge Initiative in Applied Data Analytics. The training focused on understanding long-term student outcomes from K-12 education through entry into the workforce. Leading the team is Dr. Sam Mabini-Young, co-chair of the Guam Chamber of Commerce Education and Workforce Committee.
The goal is to develop individuals in the public sector to do what we see happening out in the private sector as far as using modern tools and technology to do analysis of data in order to make wise decisions. In this case, make data-driven decisions for public good.
Throughout the training, participants worked with real-world data, specifically data sets from the state of New Jersey that included student grade levels, attendance, performance, and post-high school trends. The purpose wasn't just to review the information, but to practice mining, analyzing, and interpreting the data in ways that could be applied to Guam and the CNMI, offering valuable insight into tracking student outcomes across education and career transitions. Conducted in a secure virtual laboratory, the training equipped participants with proven data analytics approaches, including record linkage, measurement creation, and data visualization techniques.
The goal is for the team members to go off to their various agencies. So we had people from the OG, from DOE. We even had a partner participant from CNMI. Now they're going back to the table and then using the tools, some of the coding that we learned, some of the algorithms, and then using that and tapping into their data, mining their data, local data, to start answering our local questions.
With this training now complete, Mabini Young says it creates new opportunities for participants to peer train other data staff across GovGuam agencies, while also opening the door for Guam and the region to take part in more relevant and impactful training and research focused on workforce development. Destiny Cruz-Langus, KUAM News.
And also tonight, our Lieutenant Governor has been elected chairman of the Executive Board of the Aerospace States Association, a national nonprofit advocating for aerospace and aviation policy across all states, the U.S. territories, and tribal nations. Founded in 1993, the ASA focuses on advancing science research and promoting aerospace interest at the state and territorial level. And speaking by way of video conference with ASA leadership, Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio said the organization is operating a pivotal moment, marking by rapid technological advances and evolving global New Mexico ranging from aviation and aerospace business expansion to workforce development and research, they directly extend to Guam. The membership includes lieutenant governors, governor-appointed delegates, state lawmakers, and representatives from the academic world, industry, and allied organizations. Now, if you're outside today, you may have noticed the precipitation coming down from the sky as the National Weather Service and Weather Forecast Office Guam are monitoring a broad and disorganized tropical disturbance known as Invest 92W, expected to pass between Yap and our island Thursday night into Friday. Now, at this time, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center continues to rate the Invest as low, meaning significant tropical cyclone development is unlikely. Again, that word, unlikely, for those of you who just tuned in, within the next day. Guam can expect partly to mostly cloudy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, as urban and small stream flooding is possible, as an inch or two of rain have already fallen in just today alone, with an equal amount expected. Residents and visitors are expected to take precautions, as those in low-lying flood-prone areas should clear drainage areas and unblock storm drains. You want to stay updated with the latest weather information and use apps. Also use caution when driving in heavy rain due to low visibility and slippery roads, and slow down where water is ponding on the roadways. Make sure to check out our website and our mobile app for more information. All right, we're just getting started. Please stay tuned. Primetime continues after this.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
It's a new year, Guam, so let's start with the reset at Kmart. Make your move and start strong. Gear up with fitness equipment and fresh workout apparel. Fuel with wellness essentials, sugar-free options, protein, vitamins, and more. Organize and clear the clutter with easy storage solutions and cleaning essentials. And refresh for your home. New year, new me. Your reset starts at Kmart Guam.
Anything's possible. I push to the limits. I climb every wall. I keep on believing. Anything's possible.
If there's one thing we've learned, it's never to underestimate the spirit and strength of the people of our island home. Which is why at Bank of Hawaii, you, your dreams, and your possibilities will always have a home. Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Welcome back to KUAM. You're watching Prime Time, and it's been a year since the president took office for a second time, and marking the occasion, President Donald Trump held a wide-ranging press conference, but while he wanted to talk about past achievements, Europe is intent on addressing his current bid to seize Greenland.
President Trump marked the first year of his second term with a lengthy, wide-ranging White House press conference touting his accomplishments.
But these are the accomplishments of what we've produced, all page after page after page.
It comes ahead of the president's high-stakes trip to Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum, where he'll meet with European leaders on his push to control the Danish territory of Greenland. Earlier Tuesday, the president posted a doctored image of an Oval Office meeting showing a map of Canada and Greenland covered with the American flag. His threats to seize Greenland have worried global leaders, with some expressing concern that the push could destabilize the NATO alliance.
You're crossing red lines here. We either stand together or we will stand divided. And if we are divided, there is the end of an era of 80 years of Atlantism is really drawing to a close.
We stand firmly with Greenland and Denmark and fully support their unique right to determine Greenland's future.
Some lawmakers have criticized President Trump's treatment of some of the U.S.'s closest allies amid his efforts to control Greenland.
It's time to cool this down and stop. Threats against Europe, against NATO, are not in our national best interest.
And California Governor Gavin Newsom urged European leaders in Davos to push back.
This is diplomacy with Donald Trump. He's a T-Rex. You mate with him or he devours you. They need to stand tall, stand firm, stand united.
President Trump is expected to deliver a keynote address at the summit on Wednesday. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
Let's get back to news about Guam now. As a man accused of stealing $3.95 worth of candy from a Circle K service station has also been accused of cutting off and taking an air compressor nozzle, causing about $100 in damage, according to a magistrate's complaint filed in Superior Court. Police say 41-year-old Leroy Regis admitted to taking the candy and the nozzle because he needed it for an air pump at his house. Officers later recovered the nozzle from his home so it could be returned to the gas station. Regis has been charged with criminal mischief, theft of property, and retail theft. Court documents state he also admitted to taking other items from the store on prior occasions. Now, Regis also has prior convictions for motor vehicle theft and criminal mischief, and he was ordered to be held on $500 cash bail. Up north in Dedido, police say a traffic crash on Isangsong Road near Parks Market led to the arrest of a driver who openly admitted he was intoxicated. A magistrate's complaint states that when officers asked the driver if he had been drinking, he replied, and I quote, "Sir, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of drunk." 33-year-old Rodson Ramson was charged with driving while impaired and driving while impaired with a blood alcohol concentration above 0.08, both as misdemeanors. Officers responded to the crash just after 5 p.m. Sunday and reported a strong odor of alcohol, bloodshot watery eyes, and slurred speech. A field sobriety test was terminated after Ramson was unable to maintain his balance. Ramson told police he had been drinking from Saturday evening until Sunday afternoon, estimating more than a 12-pack of beer had been consumed. A breathalyzer test later showed he had a 0.269 blood alcohol content level, more than 3 times the legal limit. All right, in our next story, while some businesses on island continue to close their doors, a new one is opening, betting on fun and foot traffic as tourism slowly recovers from the pandemic. Matsuki Hirayama takes you inside Gamebox, the newest attraction at the Micronesia Mall.
Lights flashing, games buzzing, and the sound of fun filling the air at the Micronesia Mall. Gamebox is officially open. The new family-friendly arcade held its grand opening this weekend, drawing families, teens, and gamers of all ages. Located on the second floor of the mall center court, Gamebox features a mix of over 40 classic arcade games and modern interactive attractions.
That was our goal with Gamebox, is to bring the modern arcade to Guam, because we really haven't seen like the tap to play thing where people don't have to keep tokens on them, because it's really unwieldy to be playing and have a bag of tokens with you.
The business is run by a family of siblings, local entrepreneurs who also own Playworks, the indoor children's playground just a few stores down from Gamebox. Co-owner Rochelle Conto explains.
Our dream was always to have, an arcade, and when everything closed down, we were bummed too, just like everyone else in Guam, because we also have kids, and we also are sort of like the inner kid in us want to play in the arcade.
She says the idea was to offer entertainment for different age groups all under one roof.
We were really overwhelmed and in a good way and surprised that so many people, wanted to come play. And it just underscores, I guess, the whole reason why we came up with this business, which is that there's a need like in Guam.
The opening comes at a challenging time as Guam's tourism industry continues its slow recovery from the pandemic. Many local businesses have not survived.
This was years in the making, even before Fantastic closed. I think with Dream Galaxy closing and the other arcades not being here anymore, it just was like, it felt like we needed something premium, something that everyone would want to play, something that was enjoyable to play.
Kanto says she hopes Gamebox will start a trend and show other business owners that Guam is worth investing in.
Other people, they may not look at Guam and think that it's worthy to invest in a business in Guam, but as locals, as people born here and grew up here, we think Guam deserves this. And, we love that there's a lot of other local businesses also that have been kind of like, encouraged. And I think that's part of our goal as well, kind of just to help revitalize Guam, because we strongly believe in Guam's economy and we wanna be part of that.
In an uncertain economy, openings like Gamebox stand out as a sign of investment and a bet on better days ahead. Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
All right, thanks so much, Masuki. Great job there, and congratulations to Gamebox for their opening. All right, moving on. The talents of some Upper Tumon students were not only put on display right down the hill from their campus in the heart of the island's tourism capital, but their expression of their love for the beauty of Guam now has a home to greet locals and visitors alike. Here's Janice Carrasco with our next report.
Bright colors, vibrant imagery, and proud smiles filled the Grand Plaza Hotel on Saturday, January 17th, as students from St. John's High School's Art Club unveiled a mural they brought to life through 6 weeks of creativity and collaboration. President of the St. John's Art Club explains to us the concept of the mural.
So our mural titled Seaside Jungle celebrates the beauties of Guam. Depictions of sparkling oceans and the blooming natures showcases the island's unique landscapes. Beyond the representation of Guam's natures, the mural also depicts Guam's culture through scenery such as the Two Lovers Point and creatures such as the cocoa bird and the 8-point butterfly.
Cheers erupted as the countdown reached 0 and the mural was finally unveiled.
3, 2, 1! Woo!
Once the excitement settled, the club's president took a moment to explain what the mural represents.
When you first see this, you see the sunset, right? I felt like a lot of people on Guam while living here as a student, we often look to the beach and to the sunset to kind of relax, kind of de-stress from the academic pressures from our schools.
The club's vice president shared that the mural tells a story, celebrating not only the island's landscapes, but also its unique cultural heritage.
Our club members worked really hard in creating this mural. And I think a lot of people decided to put their all in it, so we are very happy to present our mural.
Treasury member highlighted the mural's importance, inviting visitors to experience its beauty and gain a deeper understanding of Guam.
Also, as the visitors of hotel come by, I hope they enjoyed this view and then understand more about Guam.
The club's president shared how the mural grew out of the students' own experiences and perspectives, giving it a deeply personal touch.
A lot of the things that we incorporate into this mural came from our personal experiences. So the 8-point butterfly, we took inspiration from actually Dr. Fu's exhibition, where she used the 8-point butterfly in her artworks. And then the Tatamona tree, it was inspired by the legends that we grew up with since elementary school.
Through this mural, the students of St. John's High School have left a mark that will inspire both visitors and future artists for years to come. Janice Carrasco, KUAM News.
Now for a look at your world at home.
We're taking you up north today for a look at the traditional men's house at the Palau Cultural Center. It's the Abay up in Benito.
Now, for a limited time, get our largest pizza at our lowest price. Just $9.99 for our classic New York-style pizza. It's 30% larger than our large, and at only $9.99 for carryout. Don't wait. Order now at your Island Pizza Hut.
GU Self-Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $95 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, Klein's hand trucks, and pallet jack, with a fully covered loading and unloading areas and ADA accessible units. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance monitoring, alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access, because your safety is our priority. GU Self-Storage, voted Pika's Best in 2024. Call 671-648-7867 today.
Get double the speed at zero extra cost with GTA Fiber. Experience super fast and reliable fiber internet speeds, now starting at 200 Mbps to 1 gig, with upload speeds just as fast as download speeds and 100 times faster than cable internet. You can enjoy lag-free gaming and clear video calls. Fast is also affordable. Sign up for Fiber 200 for only $70 a month. Visit gta.net or call 644-4482.
Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby! Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! credit apply. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to News Bites. Let's see what we got going on. Guam Unique Merchandise Art is pleased to hosting their 2026 orientation at T Galleria by DFS in Tuman, Guam on January 24th at 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Those interested in attending the orientation can register through the website at gumaguam.com. Next up, from Broadway to Belly Laughs, a night of music, laughs, and giving at Sandcastle on Sunday, January 25th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Enjoy a night with Broadway star Heather McElhenney and comedian Ron Jossel. Proceeds benefit Guam animals in need. Tickets start at $55. Purchase tickets. It is all for a great cause, so it should be a fun night. Next up, get your tickets from now for Fresco Fest happening January 24th at Epau Beach Park. Enjoy a Lickle Jordy and 3+ and special performances from Mixed Plate, Malek Mona, and Kaya. Tickets are online now at frescoclothing.com, so if you're looking for a good music and beachside vibe, this one looks like fun. And that's all for News Bites, guys. Thank you so much for being with us. You have a lovely rest of your night. Bye.
Happy midweek birthday on the 21st of January to Edwin Bunda and Jency Samante. Happy birthday to you, Edwin and Jency. We hope you both had beautiful birthdays today. We hope you had incredible celebrations, and we hope everybody today told you happy birthday exactly like that. Yeah, we hope they copied the KUAM thing, and we both hope you both have great days. Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com. And as you saw in that wonderful birthday club graphic, and I'm sure my colleagues Matsuki and Nevea would all agree, Oreos are awesome on a birthday cake. Absolutely. And we wish everybody out there a happy birthday. And we wish you a wonderful night. Please be excellent to each other. Please be safe out there because it is raining. We'll look for you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.
Every year starts with a blank page and ends with stories that stay with us.
Stories that shaped conversations, sparked change, and reminded us why we do this.
Not every answer came easy,
but every story mattered.
We asked the tough questions,
turned the page on challenges,
and followed the facts wherever they led.
From early mornings to late nights,
bringing you the full picture.
Coffee breaks over. This chapter needs all of us.
Because the biggest stories are never told alone.
Big stories.
Bigger moments.
The ones that tested us.
And the ones that brought us together.
From breaking news to defining moments.
That's a wrap on 2025.
And here's to writing our next chapter. 12 months, 365 days, 8,760 hours, unlike any other in our beloved island community's rich history. Half a day, everybody. Welcome to That's a Wrap 2025 edition. We are KUAM News. And ladies, so good to see you here for what has become a KUAM tradition.
Yes, we're starting new traditions of our own every single year.
Absolutely. So I'm Jason Salas, and primarily this year, even though each and every one of us, we all cover a variety of beats here happily so at KUAM, and we do it for all of you guys. I have primarily covered sports, military affairs, and business matters.
Yep, and you do it so well.
Thank
And
you.
half a day, everyone. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus, and I primarily cover education and health.
Half a day, everyone. My name is Nevaeh. I usually cover, the legislature, what's going on in politics across the island. But sometimes we get to do some fun stuff with cultural things going on across the island. But yeah, that's what I do.
I'm Jonigan Charfres, and I cover, I guess, basically what needs to be filled, but also public safety and Department of Parks and Recreation, and a lot of the cultural stuff as well too.
Right, and I'm Mitsuki Hirayama. I primarily cover the environment and tourism, and I feel like we pretty much, all of us share the crime beat and any other that that we need to take over.
Yeah. And the wonderful thing about working at KUAM and, like as kind of like the older guy here in our team is every year is completely unique. This year had its challenges, this year's had its opportunities, this year had a collection of indelible images, unbelievable sound bites, incredible moments, good times, bad times, and everything. And you guys really had a handle on the pulse of the community and really did a good job. And so for the next hour, we are going to take you back and really show you what it was like from our perspective in being able to chronicle just an amazing year.
All right, so let's get into it, guys.
Yeah, let's dive right in.
Let's
go.
it.
It's a new year, Guam, so let's start with the reset at Kmart. Make your move and start strong. Gear up with fitness equipment and fresh workout apparel. Fuel with wellness essentials, sugar-free options, protein, vitamins, and more. Organize and clear the clutter with easy storage solutions and cleaning essentials. And refresh your living space with new furniture and decor for your home. New year, new me. Your reset starts at Kmart Guam.
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right? I wonder why.
What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Yeah. Thanks, Taco Bell!
All right, so ladies, we know that there's never a shortage of developments in education, and we could honestly be here all day if we discussed everything that we've covered, because again, we all take turns tackling this huge beat. But some of the notable things that I think come top of mind for me specifically was Magalahan Harao Academy Charter School. They graduated their first cohort of fluent Chamorro speakers. And I just think that's a great way to kick off, when we look back at this whole year, like what a way to, cap off the year with our first cohort of fluent speakers. And then of course, when it comes to DOE, I don't even know where to start. But I think facilities definitely took over this year in addition to decommissioning. And it's something that we've been tracking closely. I've covered countless Guam Education Board meetings where they were trying to decipher which schools to close. And of course, the board ultimately decided it would be Chief Brody Elementary School and Lyndon B. Johnson. So I just remember when we were gearing up for Brody's closing, I talked to you, Sukes, about it because I know that you were previously a busy bee, and it was an emotional closure for the community. So I just wanted to ask you, how did you feel hearing that your school would be closing this year?
I mean, definitely it was a pretty sad moment. I did go to Manning and Chief Brody, but where I graduated from was Chief Brody. So it's really sad to see it close. As you mentioned, how the principal was saying how it affected really the wider Busy Bee community. But what were some of the moments that you saw when you were covering that? Because you were covering it for pretty while, right?
Yeah, so leading up to the closure, we did a walkthrough with then Principal Darlene Castro, and she was rightfully so very emotional. And a quote that stuck out to me was, there were so many hearts that were poured into the school. And, just reflecting on her time there and the countless people that have been raised in that school, it definitely had a huge impact. And, those students and those faculty and staff are now reassigned to different parts of DOE. So it definitely had a huge impact on the GDOE community.
And speaking of those impacts within education, there was a lot of double session that still happened this year. And it really affected the Sanchez community and of course the JFK community. But you were also following along with the the rebuild Sanchez, and of course the delay, right?
Right. So again, we know that we were entering this school year with double session again between John F. Kennedy High School and Simon Sanchez. And the Simon Sanchez community was really looking forward to the rebuild finally kicking off. We know that they were gearing up for the demolition and also the groundbreaking ceremony finally for their campus. And then there was a procurement protest that happened, which automatically triggers a stay in Guam law. So unfortunately, there's currently a pause in that whole process. And we did speak to students from Simon Sanchez, and they were rightfully so disappointed. But we just have to continue tracking on what's going to happen with that. We also know that legislation was introduced to reform procurement on Guam. So again, it's just so many things to look forward to in 2026. But speaking of another huge agency on Guam, I just want to wrap up education with,
but before we wrap up, there was a major transition that was happening with Dr. Swanson, right?
Yes. And so he took the helm in 2023 and now he's stepping down. We do know that Dr. Judy Wanpat was elected by the Board of Education to be the new superintendent. And again, speaking of transitions and leadership, we know GMH.
Yes.
So can you just tell us a little bit more? We know that you've been tracking. Tell us a little bit more about what's been going on in the health beat.
Yeah, so like we said earlier, we all cover the beats as needed, and Suki and I kind of share what's going on with GMH and what's going on there. And so the GMH administrator, Lillian Posada, she retired after 6 years at the helm, and I was conducting her exit interview, and I could just really feel the passion that she had for her long career in healthcare and just her desire to see the hospital do better than it had been in previous years. And with the interim CEO and administrator coming in, Dr. Jolene Uggen, they really hit the ground running and just started with their budget talks. They did walkthroughs through the hospital. There were some hiccups with things going on with the power grid and everything like that, but it's been nice to see how consistent they've been with their capital improvement projects and trying to get the hospital in a better state so that it can better serve the island and maybe possibly evolve into a new hospital.
And I know that we'll be tracking that closely with 2026 just around the corner. I know we're going to continue to follow all of these developments very closely. It's something to look forward to. And another huge development was also the medical campus that was debated heavily this year. So we'll talk about that a lot more down the line. But again, it was a huge year, and we could really be here all year just talking about education and healthcare, and they often intersect. So we'll continue this discussion. So stay tuned, everybody. We can yap all day. Keep it here.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
It's a new year, Guam, so let's start with the reset at Kmart. Make your move and start strong. Gear up with fitness equipment and fresh workout apparel. Fuel with wellness essentials, sugar-free options, protein, vitamins, and more. Organize and clear the clutter with easy storage solutions and cleaning essentials. And refresh your living space with new furniture and decor for your home. New year, new me. Your reset starts at Kmart Guam.
All right, guys, before we move on, I just want to give a quick little thank you to our friends over here at the lobby bar at the Crown Plaza Resort for fueling us for this next part as we get into crime and industry.
Yeah. And we got bruschetta and pepperoni.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to dig in.
Thanks, Coke, for that. I know you were mentioning about how it was a big year for the GDOE and the private or the public hospital.
Yes.
The only public hospital, Guam Memorial. And it was also a busy year for the Guam Police Department. They were kept busy with there were a lot of arrests, a lot of crime. there was a lot of death and homicide investigations. And there was one in April. It was a shooting in Pagachao. And for the past months, they couldn't find a suspect. They couldn't even release the name of the murder victim. And it wasn't until October the GPD put out a press release and even a press conference that they made an arrest at Donald Blackno. And that's when we found out who the murder victim was. It was a guy named Carl Gargarito. And that one, I remember it happening early in the morning. We had Nick on the scene over there trying to get a feel for the community because some of the shots actually hit some of the houses.
I remember
nearby.
like their front door and
Yeah.
area.
And luckily no one was hurt, There was also the one that happened, and I know, Kobe, do you remember it? It was a stabbing in Sinahaya. It was a 61-year-old
Yes.
that had pulled up to the central precinct.
I remember that story kind of like changed overnight because when we did break that story on our social media, it was a man had brought his friend who was injured in the car, and I think the following day, like that was the breaking story. Was someone was brought to a precinct injured, like unresponsive, and then we find out the next day that it was actually a crime, right?
Yeah.
Like it was the person who had brought that injured person there was the one responsible for the incident, and it was kind of just like one of those things where it's like, wow, like it's a heavy story, and I feel like it's important for people to know like that type of things are happening on our island, just to bring like awareness and all of that.
And I think what was the shocking part was that the victim was stabbed like 50 times.
Over 50 times, yeah.
So I think that brought a lot of comments from, regarding the story. They found out it was a husband, and then the victim was his wife, and that one was like you mentioned, how it changed overnight. And the one I think that we all can really
speak to.
Is the one that happened about 8 months ago. It was the Talafofo armed shooter, carjacking, police chase.
Yeah, that was a
that
crazy
like
one.
speaking
That
of
was-
changing stories.
That was like a whole weekend of, I feel like, coverage from the whole team, right? Like from news to digital. Like I feel like everyone was on their toes when that was happening, because it was like wow, this is really like, it's happening, it's everywhere. Like we need to be on top of this to make sure like we have the right info, and like I just remember that weekend so clearly. Like,
yeah, it was hectic. And shout out to, again, Nick and Jason for getting that initial coverage out there, because that was something that the island was really looking at closely and looking to us to provide that information, because in all honesty, the community was panicked that there was a shooter on the loose. And I remember the next day, Suki, we were tag teaming, and Suki ended up at an apartment where she interviewed one of the witnesses. So can you just tell us a little bit more about that day? I just remember he was telling us about how he encountered him, so that was really interesting.
Yeah, so the person we spoke to was actually one of the relatives of a victim who was carjacked at gunpoint, and he was only 18 years old. But then the witness that we spoke to was telling us how he was actually standing like outside of his doorway on his balcony because he had heard shouting, and then when he looked downstairs in the parking lot, he just saw his relative, his cousin, actually like running away, because the guy Jeremy Pangilinan that we now know of, he had pulled out a silver revolver and said, "Give me your car or I'll shoot you." And of course the victim did the smart thing and he ran away, gave him his keys, and Jeremy Pangilinan took off with the car. And I don't know if he ever got the car back, probably not, but they did end up finding him like all the way in the northern end of the village, right? So
it was interesting. He even showed us the pathway that he took to get to the apartment, and he was hiding under the stairwell.
staircase,
So it was just really interesting to get that firsthand account from people who were experiencing it. And really, we wouldn't have known if we didn't go out in the field and speak to the community.
Yeah.
And like how you bring that up too, because when we were going to another shooting, this one was at GPO. It was in a parking lot, and it had happened like late in the evening. So a lot of this, the gathering we were doing the following day.
Yes.
And I had sent you and Mitch over there to the parking lot, and you came across.
Yes, I actually, it just so happened that when we were gathering B-roll of the incident, we just so happened to run into a relative of the victim. And I believe the person that we were speaking to, he was the godfather to, or the victim, I'm sorry, was the godfather to his daughter. And he was just telling us, you know, how shocked he was to hear about it, and also just to find out about it through the media and through social media chats. We also got to talk to people within the community in the surrounding GPO area. A lot of them didn't even know that the GPO shooting had happened. Nobody heard gunshots, nobody heard sirens. So that's another big part of our job as reporters, is not just sharing the news through social media or through TV, but it's also telling our community in person, hey, this is happening right next to you if you didn't know. And just to have, you know, that was just a huge event to cover. It was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like another major case this year was that the hit and run with the off-duty police officer.
Oh yeah, yeah. That too was. It had happened on the weekend, and then it was like a week almost later where we found out the information again through another press conference with GPD. He had hit a bicyclist, or he was on a scooter, and the accident happened. He later on he made came up with another idea that he got into an accident to
stage
to stage it, and then right now that's going through the investigative process, and I think that's what a lot of people were surprised about, that this man did that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's never an easy beat to cover. It's really unfortunate when we hear this devastation in our community, but of course we do have to remove that initial feeling as reporters when we're doing our job. But undoubtedly, it's not an easy beat to cover, and it's really unfortunate.
And I also feel like this beat is, although it's really, really heavy and hard sometimes, it's sort of necessary for us to kind of put that type of content out there, because it not only brings awareness, it also it gives people I should be aware of my surroundings.
Yeah. Before that incident happened, we actually had police officers from the Guam Highway Patrol Division come to our studio to speak on our podcast Off the Record, talking about I believe it was National Drunk Impaired Prevention Month, something along those lines. But we had them come and speak with us about the importance of getting to your destination safely and not drink or driving under the influence, because at the end of the day, you want to be safe, and you also want to keep an eye out for be mindful of other drivers on the roads.
Definitely. It's a great way to tie up, I think, this thing. Just be safe, and again, we're here to keep you all informed and to do our part in keeping the community safe. So
welcome back to That's a Wrap 2025. When we look back at the past year, really a lot of the biggest conversations surrounded the environment and how closely that ties into pretty much everyone's life here on the island, whether it's from land, air, and sea. But I feel like one of the ones that had probably the biggest impact on our local community was the Dieldrin water contamination crisis.
That's right.
Yeah, when we first, from what I recall, when we first, I guess, heard about it, was actually not even this year. It was like 2 years ago when I remember covering a EPA board meeting, and they had like not really announced it. They were just discussing it within that meeting, which of course is public, but it wasn't widely known to the community. And then fast forward 2 years later, that's when you were covering it very closely on the ground up there in Jigo. Could you kind of like walk us through how that issue came about for you?
Yeah, so again, like Suki said, it's been a team effort to cover this huge issue because it took up a lot of the minds of our community, rightfully so. But when I was covering it, I believe we heard that there was a do not drink advisory in place for the residents in the Jigo Santa Rosa area. So I connected with the vice mayor because he was actually distributing water to the residents because they couldn't drink, they couldn't cook, they couldn't shower with their water because it was essentially poisonous for them to do so. So I was able to speak to the mayor, who is a resident of the area himself, in addition to the other neighboring people in the area. And a lot of them were really disappointed with just the way that the information was communicated with them. A lot of them were very panicked, just wondering, what do they do now? Where do we get our sources of water? A lot of them were also really disappointed honestly, with GWA, asking, when are they going to set up fill tank systems? When are they going to install filtration systems as well? So just fast forward, we do know that GWA ultimately said that we failed, and they did say that they were informing residents through their water quality report, which was mailed to residents. But residents were saying that just wasn't a sufficient way for them to access this really vital information about their drinking water. So GWA established an online portal. Of course, in addition to establishing that online portal, eventually GWA and GIPA, they ended up lifting the do not drink advisory. And of course, a permanent filtration system is underway. But I think the lingering concern for the residents in the area, and honestly for island residents, is just the continuum of monitoring and also ensuring that they're paying attention to health concerns. So if Dieldrin has an impact on, it is a pesticide. So if it has impacts on their health, just what can the government do to ensure that they're healthy? And again, we heard so much feedback from the community. You saw on social media.
Yeah, the reel that we made with you had so many comments from the community.
Yeah.
That's just like how much water is life, like you said.
It really is. Everybody was really engaged. And speaking of that community engagement, Sukes, I know that you've been covering deep sea mining and also the missile defense. So can you just tell us a little bit more about deep sea mining? It's something more recent. And Pratehi Guahan has been a huge advocate for the community to come out and comment.
Yeah, so there was a lot of, I guess, the federal impacts to the environment. Of course, we have the land, air, and sea. So for the deep sea mining, that we might recall a little bit more because it's still the proposal is still ongoing, unlike the missile defense proposal, which already has been approved to move forward. But a lot of people have been submitting comments. But I guess the initial issue came about where I recall I was speaking with Ms. Carlotta Leon Guerrero from Adelup, and she was telling me how the governor actually didn't find out about the proposal until it was through the media that she found out. And then she, alongside the governor of the CNMI, she issued a joint request to extend the comment period because it was only for 30 days, which is a month. And that's not enough time for the community to really provide meaningful feedback, especially with this deep sea mining issue. There's not a lot of scientific research done on it, and we don't know the impacts it's going to have on the environment. So that was a big thing for the local activists and the community in general. And then, of course, they did extend that comment period for the month of January until I believe it was January 12th. But it kind of, talking about it now, it kind of makes me think of the missile defense issue, because also at that time, I recall that there was also a comment period, and